Okay. All right. Let's finish getting everything set up. Um, while we are, yeah, let's finish getting everything set up. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. No. All right. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll get it figured out. I just need to find the right link to do that. Okay. There's that. Okay. And then jump. Okay. Okay. Trying to get it working. Okay. And it appears to be working. Let me just make sure. Okay. And then Streamlabs is working. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. We're doing fantastic. One of these days, I will get it right, get it on time, not get distracted by snacking, and in well this week's case, anime boat women. Let me let me just jump over here real quick to get the small. What do I want? 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 You know what? Let's go with something. Let's go with something nice. Let's go with something nice. Mm. Anyway, so let me get all my bits and pieces and other assorted things going. Okay. Okay. Oh. All right. Blech. My hair's getting to that point. Okay, my bag's just poking me in the eyes. My hair's getting to that point where I really need a haircut. But you know. But you know. Anyway. Oh. It feels good to be back in the chair. You know, because I have been working so much all week, but it really feels good to be back in the chair. But you know, what have we got today? Well, I chose something a little bit lighter. Just you know, just because that was kind of what I was in the mood for. So something a little bit lighter as opposed to what I'm normally out here. Turn your volume up. I just need to lean in closer and speak up really. Anyway, I chose something lighter as opposed to my normal stuff because that's just what I wanted. Anyway, I'm getting game stuff I'm getting game stuff going um in order to you know just have that running. Gotta grind even when I'm not. Gotta have it grinding even when I'm not grinding. Which actually reminds me, I gotta pull up SK2 because I don't want to miss the 1 o'clock mole because the 7 o'clock mole came around because that would suck. That's valuable resources I'm missing out on as I mess around with the cellophane or the plastic, whatever it's called, for the smoke. Come on. And they really threw something. Oh my god. They really threw it in there. Okay. So, this week's smoke, the Awe Maria Holy Grail, which is not a bad smoke, despite what some people might say. It is not bad. Okay, but yeah, it's not bad. It's it is the weakest man in a really strong family, and that is just because someone is that weak man does not mean that they are themselves weak. you know, if you're the weakest person in a strong family, it doesn't necessarily make you. I mean, it makes you weak by comparison, but it doesn't make you, you know, weak. Okay. It makes you weak by comparison to your family, but to others, you're not necessarily going to be. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. I don't know why that. What the fuck? Okay, so now we got. All right, so now my Seven Knights 2 is you know is bugged to where everything to where about half of it is in Korean now. And I did not finish taking the Duolingo classes to read Korean. So there's that, which is just great, which is just great. Okay, I need to get the mole in Seven Knights 2 first, and then I can set it to auto, and we can just kind of ghost. Okay. All right. Boop, 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 boop. I really should have gotten all this setup done beforehand, but I got distracted because it had been a little bit since I'd last had hash browns, and so I was more interested in in enjoying my hash browns than anything else. All right, but let's jump ecstatically into this because it's a good smoke. It really is. Let's see, matches. I need to do a little bit of desk cleaning in order, since there's quite a bit here. I also need to find some. I was about to say I need to find some headphones that use a traditional audio jack. They're plugged into the fucking computer. So no, I don't need to find them. I just need to unplug them. Where is my? All right. I'm losing it. I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm losing my fucking mind. Anywho, let's get this bad boy cut and on fire. Good cut. Fantastic cut. Yeah, only the best cut. I only cut the best. I always cut well. Anyway. Also, my mustache is still kind of damp from the shower. I guess it's one of the things, I need to cut it. Need to get trim. I need to trim my face and then have my hair trimmed, at a local establishment, at a local haircut establishment. In order to, well, help me stay cool since it's now summer, and that sucks. Anyway. I've also got ketchup in my mustache. That's fantastic. That's really cool. That's really good. I really need to shave. How do guys with those huge beards do this? Just eat and, exist without being annoyed at all times. Maybe I don't write a letter to one of my professors in undergrad because he had a massive beard. Just ask him, how do you do it? Anyway. That's got a great draw on it. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's what I like. Okay. Let's get it up. There we go. good light to start us off. Ooh. Yeah, it's got that spice. Classic AJ. Classic AJ. It's got the spice on light up. Whew. It's not the weird, it's not the, it's not the intense burn my mouth spice that it normally is. But it's enough to perk me up a little bit, get me, get my concentration back up. I'm actually going to turn up the gain on I'm going to turn up the gain on the microphone again, just to try and help, and we'll see what that yields. Hopefully that makes me sound better, so that way I don't have to constantly be like right here. But then again, I guess that might help. But as long as I'm leaned up against, I remember during one episode, or maybe it was more than one episode, I don't know, I had a pillow behind me, and that was helpful. You know what? Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go grab a pillow off the bed and use it to kind of keep me closer to you guys. There we go, basic. Oh. There we go. Oh, that's nice. That's actually really that's nice. That's actually really nice, because there is not a great amount of cushion on this chair, and it is also, it is also not. I mean, I've had this chair for a few years now, so it's a little bit, worn, from, just, I mean, I don't weigh that much, but even then, we have this much weight on you over time, it's gonna cause, it's gonna cause, okay, it's gonna cause some obvious wear and tear. I mean, that's the long and short of it. That spice hit me right in the fucking throat. Caused me to cough. Which is what, yeah. But, like I said, the Holy Grail is not a bad cigar. It's just the family that it comes from is a family of really, really good, really, really strong cigars. And, this one is just, I mean, this one is just, I mean, when I say it's the worst, I'm still not trying to say it's bad. If you're, to put it in, I think one way that I described it to someone was, if every single other, cigar from this brand was a 100 out of 100, this one is like a 95. Yeah, it's worse, but it's still pretty good. It's still really, really good. A 95 out of 100 is still really, really good. And I realize that cigar aficionados and whatever do have a rating system out of 100, and I don't think all the rest of the Awamarias score a perfect 100 out of 100. But that's just the example. That's just the example that I set up. That I use to describe to people that this is not a bad cigar. It's just the worst out of its family, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. Yeah, that spice is enough to kind of open up my one sinus. But that's fine. Well, actually, that's really good. So, in thinking about what to put into the description of this live stream, as well as what to talk about this week, I thought about it, and something that I've been meaning to talk about but haven't been talking about are the new streetlights in town and why I don't like them. So, at first I couldn't put into words why. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know why I didn't like the new streetlights. I mean, they're brighter, which is something, which is not really something that I'm opposed to, but it's also not something that I'm really. I'm not. Whatever. It's whatever. But I knew that I just I would see them, and I at coming home from work, or just at just looking outside at nighttime, and I would go, I don't like that, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I actually started looking at them in comparison to older lights around town. I went, they don't illuminate they don't illuminate the air. It's more just like they illuminate the surfaces upon which the light is being cast upon. Which, some of you might be going, duh, GZ, that's what lights are supposed to do. And yes, I understand that, but that was my first kind of breakthrough to myself as to why I didn't like it. I didn't like these new lights. And then there was a morning where I was coming home and it was kind of foggy, and that was what led me to another revelation. So older streetlights, you might notice, when it's foggy, or even if it isn't, you can kind of let's just pretend that up here is the bulb. You can if it's foggy, or if there's moisture in the air, or even if it's just dark enough, you can see a cone of light coming from the light source all the way to the ground, right? You can see that, and that's the area in which that's the area that is illuminated by the lamp, by the light. These new lights don't have that. It was foggy out, and there was no cone. And I went, oh, is that why I don't like them? Is that why I don't like them? And that was what I had settled on as to why I don't like the new streetlights. But there was something else. There was something else that was bothering me about them. And so I was making observations about them, kind of like, okay, what is the problem? Hmm. And that's when I had my third revelation about the streetlights. Another reason why I don't like them is because their border is too sharp. Now, what I mean when I say that is, again, if you look at older lights, the area that they illuminate kind of has a soft edge, kind of like a gradient from light to darkness, you know. But these don't have that. It's just light, and then just sharp cut off to the dark. And and I don't know why I don't like that, but I just do not. I just do not like that. And so, I don't like the new LED streetlights. And the revelation about the whole sharp border between light and darkness came about while I was out on deliveries on Wednesday, because I closed over there that night. So it was 1 o'clock. It was dark out. I mean, it was dark out before then, but my point being that I saw cars with these those bright LEDs that make it so that you cannot see. Um, and I saw it and went, why does it look like that? It doesn't, because it didn't look right. I went, why does it look like that? Those are LEDs. They're super bright. And that's when I realized it's the lack of a light cone, and it's the lack of the gradient to darkness. It's just a sharp border, light dark. There's no gradient, and it's I don't know why it bothers me. I don't know. Maybe this is just a part of getting older. Is new things I just don't like I'm just not going to like by default. I mean, hell, I'm already resistant to change, so there's that part of getting older that I've already got pretty down pat. But hey, I guess I'm just gonna not like new things like LEDs on cars and street lamps. I mean, I guess one of those new quote unquote things that I don't like is RGB in computers. In In my last computer that I owned, I just selected just I just went as minimalist as I could with the RGB because it's stupid. It's stupid to me. It's dumb. Why does my computer need lights? That's I mean I understand that they don't take over much power from the system. They still do, and who cares? I'm not here to I'm not gonna buy this to stare at my computer and be like, wow, I'm doing stuff on the computer. Not that and not that a bunch of flashing lights would distract me, but if it's not being looked at, then what's the point? And on this new computer, I have turned off as much as I can in terms of the RGBs, but it just doesn't. I can't turn them all off. I mean, I probably could if I opened the chassis and then figured out, okay, well, here's the lights. Let me just unplug this, and then just unplug the RGBs from the system. I don't feel like doing that because I mean it's down here below me. I don't really see it when I'm scooched up to the desk and working on stuff, playing games, whatever, normal stuff. So it's dumb. RGBs on computers, that's dumb. But what's even dumber is RGB on your car. There's a couple of people in town who have these really bright, LEDs, in the rims of their wheels, and or in one guy's case, in his wheel wells, and it's dumb. It's really dumb. It just strikes me as, wow, you don't know how to spend money. This guy's already got, well, in one case, this guy's already got a massive truck, a massive truck that can, be pretty easily seen even in the dark. But now with all the, the LED lights on it, we can now see it from halfway across the universe. Thanks. Thanks, dude. We can see, we can see your truck from halfway across the universe. We can, your lifted truck. All right. We can see you disappointing every woman that that you try to hit on from across the universe. Thanks, dude. Because that's information that I really, that's information that I wanted to, blind me, at night. Thanks. I don't know. Just the whole car customization thing kind of just seems really pointless to me. I guess over customization in general just seems kind of pointless because okay, customization just at base is hello is fine. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Is fine. Okay, I get it. Whatever. It's your property. But when people take it too far, right? And when it comes to cars, the whole LED thing, the people who, have like a billion stickers all over their car, it seems really dumb. It seems really dumb and over customized. And, I would be embarrassed to be seen in the company of someone who has a car like that. Who, somebody who has a car with a million stickers on it, with, I would be really, really embarrassed to be with the guy in the lifted truck with the LEDs, that I can see, for from the ever expanding edge of the universe. But just and the whole RG, the whole thing with the lights in the computer. Yeah, it all over customization in general just seems really stupid to me because why? For what purpose? To really make it yours, you own it. It's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a minimalist. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't find such things like that to be aesthetically pleasing. Maybe that is why. I don't know. I mean, it would make some sense. You know, if that was the case, that would make some sense. But you know, I don't really object to it. I mean, these people, presumably these people are, custom. Presumably it's their property. They can do whatever they want with it. It's just I would be really embarrassed to be near these people, to be seen in the company of these people. And it's like, oh well, such and such has a gajillion stickers all over their car. I don't know. Actually, more specifically, when it comes to the people who over customize their cars, it's like, do I really need to be able to discern your entire personality from, being behind you at a stoplight? I mean, I guess that kind of makes it easier for, if I think, oh, maybe I should hang out with somebody. It would, that something like that would help me figure out who, who would be cool and who to avoid. But then again, I guess with the way that I guess with the way that I've been talking, when it comes to avoidance, it would be anybody who over customizes their car. You know, and with the computer thing, it's not like it's not like it's not like it can really be avoided. RGBs are really hard to just avoid in computers nowadays, which sucks because I get, what if you actually have, a minimalist who, does not find that aesthetically appealing? But if again, what do I know? What do I know? Actually, it's a funny thing is back when I was in college, and we were in one of my philosophy courses, we were talking about aesthetics, and I just didn't buy it at all. I just did not buy aesthetics at all. I didn't care for it. But recently, my opinion on it has changed, and when I say recently, I mean within a couple months. And the reason why is, I started thinking about it, and I realized no, aesthetics are important because that serves as, it's pretty foundational for, the creation of artwork. It's what discerns good art from, your bad art. And and then, that line of reasoning brought me to the conclusion that yes, you can objectively say that there is good art and there is bad art. You know, for example, you know, and this is an easy example because I'm not really an art connoisseur. Um, but good art, stuff by classical painters like Van Gogh. That's good. That's good art. Meanwhile, most modern art, the single line on the canvas, slam poetry, all of that is bad art. It's bad art because it doesn't the its aesthetic is wrong, it's incorrect. And my thoughts regarding this whole subject are somewhat underdeveloped because I'm new to I'm new to this whole, aesthetics and art type thing. You know, yeah, one could say that, well, GZ, you are attempting to create a work of art with one of your projects. Yes, that is true. But that being said, I didn't, during the process of making that art, which is still ongoing, I didn't really put too terribly much thought into aesthetics. It was more just like, this is cool. How do I integrate it? Or this sounds like it'll be, this seems like it could be something that is, relatively balanced from a mechanical standpoint. I didn't really think about it. I didn't really think about, that the actual, kind of core aesthetic of it. At least not over much. And so, it's kind of it feels like I've kind of gone backwards in a way, and you know, it's not. It's certainly not. It's certainly not. You know, certainly not something that I am having an easy time thinking about, and I think one of those reasons is because I'm not actively looking into it too much. Um, and so, uh, yeah, and so, you know, it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange to me, but I'm working on it. Or at least I'm trying to, trying to figure out really where I stand on the whole thing. And hmm, maybe I will, maybe I'll talk to one of my professors at Hanover who, kind of, helped who I initially taught who I initially was in class with about this whole thing to go, okay, what am I really missing here, you know guide me a little bit, as it were, so that way I can understand, so that way I can better understand, um you know these thoughts that I'm having in regards to aesthetics and all of this. I I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. Pretty sure part of what's missing is just a pretty sure part of what's missing is just a lack of literature, uh, you know literature on my part, reading, for on the subject, and that's something that I need to kind of work on. But really, I just need to find some time. I just need to find some time to work on it, since you know, so that way I can kind of develop my thoughts on it. Maybe my opinion that there is such a thing as good art and bad art. Objectively, maybe that will shape. Maybe that will change. Maybe that will shift. But at the same time, maybe not. So who knows? Who knows? Uh, I'm just doing some quick reading here on a new thing that I had unlocked in game. But yeah, maybe that's what needs to happen. Is I just need to do some reading. Okay, is that just not going to work? Oh yes. Maybe that's what needs to happen. It's just I need to do some reading. I need to do some evaluation of different things in order to figure out where I stand on this. Perhaps, but I don't know. I don't know, man. This has been a weird little tangent, starting from um, street lamps and the customization, people customizing things. I don't know. Kind of looping back to that. I don't know. Customizing your car just seems. I mean, to me, it seems kind of like a waste of money. But that should, but that's coming from my perspective, where I just don't want to spend the money on I just don't want to spend the money on that kind of stuff, because again it seems a little bit wasteful to me. It seems kind of really really dumb. But what do I know? You know, not much, not over much. At least presently. But I don't know. I don't know. One of these days I'll figure it out. It's just eh, eh. yeah, but yeah, I really I shouldn't say that it bothers me, but it does kind of bother me that but it's just one of those things that I it's just one of those things that I kind of need to accept about um about different things is it's gonna it's not it's not gonna be the greatest here, um but what do I know? What do I know? Really. And I keep saying that. I keep saying that over and over and over again. What do I know? Hmm. Whatever. I guess on a related note, there are some cool things that I've seen on people's cars. There's also some just weird things that I've seen, and of course a lot in between. Let me just get this going again. I waited too long to draw on it. I have this problem too when I'm just smoking with other people, but I don't really have this problem when I smoke alone. Hmm. I think I lost it. I think I lost my cherry. I think I lost my cherry. Ugh, I don't know. Get it? I think I might have lost the cherry. It didn't fall onto the desk. I don't see it on the floor, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe I didn't lose the cherry. Maybe that's how that looked beforehand. I don't know. It seems like the cherry might have fallen off. At least part of it, which sucks. But at least it didn't fall on me this time. Anyway, I've reminds me of a guy who used to work at Taco Bell who his whole perspective on a lot of things was there's a lot of neat stuff out there in the world, and yeah, he's right. There is a lot of cool there's a lot of really cool neat stuff out there. There's also a lot of trash. There's also just a lot of trash out there that isn't it's not good. It's not good stuff. I mean, if we think about how many industries are kept alive just because people who smoke weed exist, then you kind of get an idea for exactly how much garbage is out there, and you get a little disappointed. But you know, it helps me a little bit by thinking, well, I'm not wasting my money on that shit. So, eh, eh, I don't know. But yeah, this week, kind of getting into the main talking point that I usually bring up is how the week has been going. It has been it's been I mean, it's not been an overly taxing week in terms of you know uh work and whatnot, but it has just been wild because my schedule has just been my schedule these past couple of weeks for Domino's has just been it's been ever shifting, and I don't like that because I for a month now, well, not for a month now, but for a month in the past, I had set days off, and I could schedule things out and get things done. I haven't been able to do that for the past couple of weeks because my schedule has just been has been changing, and it sucks. It really sucks. Um, but hopefully, now that I've done a little bit of mornings, I've done a close. Hopefully now I can get a set schedule with which to do find what I kind of so that way I can get back into a groove, because I was starting to get into get into a groove with my schedule, going, okay, yeah, this is good, this is good stuff. I can work with this, I can get things done. And then the schedule started changing, and it's like, well, shit. But hopefully, hopefully things will stabilize. Hopefully sooner rather than later, because otherwise I'm gonna have to start pushing myself a little bit, and that's really gonna suck. But you know, I here's to here's to hoping. Cheers. Here's to hoping. Maybe someday. Hopefully someday soon. The thing is, though, when it comes to planning out, when the next schedule comes out, if it's not something stable like I would like, I'm definitely gonna say something like something to my boss over at Don was like, dude, please, something stable, something consistent, something where I can actually make plans and not have to worry about getting to work. For example, this week I haven't had any overlapping days off. I've either been at one place, the other, or both, and that sucks. That really sucks. Because I've always got to think, okay, well, I can only do this one thing, maybe, before before I have to go to work, and it's terrible. It's terrible because then because I can't be efficient and get multiple excuse me, multiple things done. I'm just not interested in doing anything. I'm just not interested in doing anything, and it sucks. It's terrible. Hmm. Oh, but regardless of whether or not the schedule actually stabilizes next week, I'm gonna push myself to get things done, because it's a little it's been my negligence has led to things being unnecessary, has led to my negligence in the past has led to the present being a little bit rough, and as a result, I'm not really feeling so good about the future. But I'll it's just a matter of pushing to get things done, to get the things done that I want to get done. Just the day to day, from week to week, but also just making sure that making sure that livelihood and whatnot is stable. And well, there's a little bit of jeopardy right now, but it's still manageable. So I just again, I just need to kind of stand up and go, all right, we gotta do this. We can't afford to mess around. All right, I got things I gotta get done. Otherwise, otherwise it's not going to end well. So we'll get that done. We'll get something done, at least. My right at present, my philosophy of, well, I need to be making money in some way, in some way, shape, or form every day, has been kind of holding up, which is good, because that means that I'm ensuring that there is a supply of cash to ensure that the bills get paid. However, I did set goals for this year, for this financial year, and I need to make sure that those goals are getting done. And it feels like I've fallen behind. I mean, I still have 6 months to meet the goals, but it feels like I've fallen behind, and I don't like that. I don't know if it's true, but I still don't like it. And so, I guess since the end of June will be the end of the second quarter of the year, I can kind of evaluate, where I stand on those goals, and where I stand, well, yeah, where I stand on those goals, and then figure out, am I actually behind, or am I just overthinking? And if I'm overthinking, then, well, of course, make adjustments ensure that I stay on track. But if I'm not overthinking, then I gotta. At that point, serious consideration for what changes need to be made will happen in order to make sure that we gotta get this done. We gotta stop fucking around. But we'll and part of it kind of depends on part of staying on track kind of just depends on regular income from from the jobs. But I'm thinking I'll be at least somewhat all right. But I don't know. Well, like I said at the end. Well, hold on. Let me actually double check to see. Let me double check. I have to minimize Streamlabs for this in order to open up the Excel document. Because let's see. Here we are. So let's see. Quarter. Yeah. Q. Oh fuck. That was like 324. Hold on. I gotta actually fill in. Okay. So yeah, around in a couple weeks I'll do a review here. Actually, I could kind of just spot review it. Okay, yeah, it's doable. It's doable to meet the goals. It's just I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to just batten down a little bit. Um, Also, I need to make some adjustments to the income in order to in order to see what that's all about, and I need to double check a few things. I need to have a nice need to overview the finances just a little bit, just to see, okay, what's happening, what's going on, you know, adjust costs, in order to find out, hey, let's see what we got here, before before things get hairy, before things get hairy. But yeah, eh. It's kind of a whatever kind of thing. Oh, hello. Ooh, ooh. Anyway, but I'm in terms of how I feel, kind of overall, still working the two jobs. I still feel fine. I mean, I'm not exactly and I'm not exactly energetic, but then again, I didn't expect myself to suddenly be brimming with energy and whatnot. But I still feel fine, even though it's been kind of even though it's been real even though it feels really bad at well, even though it feels really bad at both jobs, because it's summer, and so business has taken an upturn. It really sucks, but I'm still feeling all right. So it's fine. It's okay. And that reminds me, I need to I need to find some transactions here. Oh, here we go. But yeah, I'm still feeling okay. So yeah, it's probably fine. Anyway, there it is. So April, May. Aha! I need to double check something with someone. But yeah, it's it's been a fine week. It's been a fun it's been a fine week. It's not great, but it's fine. Also, something interesting that happened. So last week, for reference, I pulled about 70 hours between both jobs. 30, 40, whatever. And Taco Bell isn't going to change. It's just not. It's just not going to change. And you know, whatever. But I was pulling 30. I pulled 30 hours last week at my pizza job, and I thought, oh, okay, and the boss there said, oh, hey, we're going into a boost week, which basically just means that something big on the mix. There's going to be a big discount on a certain portion of the menu. And I went, oh, sweet, And he said, oh yeah, we're going to be scheduling people a lot. And I went, okay, sweet. And then my hours this week got cut by about 30%, and I went, what the hell is this? And I asked him about it. I went, Squid Bag, what's going on with the hours? He went, man, I don't fucking know. And I went, all right, fine. I chalk that up to him not having the depth of not having a full depth of experience, I guess. I don't see it as something malicious or malignant, unlike at the taco job where at that point it's somewhat negligent. But that's just my opinion on the matter. That's just my opinion. But Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Still, whatever. I'm still driving. Well, I'm doing about half driving, half insider, and I love the driving. The cars are still so cool. The cars are still so cool, and the tips keep rolling in. So I'm not opposed to that. Now, once I actually see a paycheck with the tips, well, once I see a paycheck deposit without considering the deposit from tips, I might go, it looks bad. But I need to remember, add in the tips, and then it'll kind of balance out. I mean, hell, the other day when I was driving, with tips included. And here, let me do the math right now, just so I can kind of give an accurate estimation for myself here. So let me think. If it was over, let's just say 8 hours, and then plus 6.5, I was making 1963 an hour, which is phenomenal. That's almost that's like 38% more than I would make at Taco Bell, which is pretty cool. As a kind of basic grunt driver. Kind of, yeah. I mean, kind of the bottom of the totem pole over at the pizza job. That's it feels pretty good to do that. I understand that that's not going to be every day, and it's a boost week, and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. You know, and for a bit of that, I was the only driver, which means all the tips just went straight to me. And not having to put up with the chaos of the store is really really great. Um, but it's just it was nice. It feels good. It feels really good. It felt really good to be making almost $20 an hour for the actual amount of work that I was doing. But hey, that's just what happens when you work a job, when you work a tip job, you know. And hopefully the employee evaluation over at the pizza place comes up soon, so that way I can get a raise. I've only been working there about a month and a half, and a raise is already pretty clearly visible on the horizon. How much will that raise be? I don't know. I don't know. I'll ask. Well, I probably won't need to ask when I get it because I'll be told what it. He'll tell me, hey, you got a raise. It's this much now, and then I'll go, wow, sweet, thanks. You know, and that'll be good. That'll be good. Of course, and of course, I am grateful for the pizza people to I am grateful for my pizza boss give me this, to kind of push for, for me to do some of the things that I'm doing in order to get these raises. And so, you know, that makes me feel, it makes me feel good. It's not like Taco Bell where, it seems to take forever for, anything positive to happen. But meanwhile, oh, you want something negative to happen? Oh yeah, that'll it's right there. It's right there. Something negative, right there, right in your face, and it's not gonna go away anytime soon. It's a real, it's a real annoying, it's a real annoying, difference, and I'm cognizant. I was cognizant of that difference, even even before I started working my pizza job. But hey, you know, I was actually talking with the guys at work today at Taco Bell, and I was saying, for the past little bit now, at least 2 years, at least 2 years. I've been working two jobs, and that just seems to be, my destiny is that I'm going to work two jobs in order to, sustain some of my expensive habits, and also just sustain this household. But man, I just, if somebody's gonna ask me, hey, GZ, what do you want? One of two things is gonna come to my mind: either cash money to help lift some of that burden, or just time to be alone, where I don't have to, deal with the problems of the day to day. Those are the two things that I want. And I did talk about I did talk about the wanting to be alone last time. But hey, I know it's not going to happen. So, well, I can still hope. I can still hope. I can still pray. Please God. Actually, you know what? If I'm gonna ask God, to help me out a little bit with one of my desires, it would definitely be the burden. It's like, please God, I know, I know God's whole thing is, not giving people more than they can handle, you know, but just a just a just a little bit of assistance in carrying what I carry. I'm not, and I'm not saying permanently, just a small bit of relief for the shortest for a short period of time, just so I can breathe a little bit, just so I can have a take a breath and think, okay, I'm not, I'm not feeling like I'm being crushed. But we'll see what comes of it. We'll see what comes of it. I mean, this year's been pretty decent, all things considered. And so maybe, I mean, there's still half a year left. There's still half a year left. Maybe there'll be some. My one sinus unclogging is really my nose itches. But maybe something really really nice will come about. It's at some point during the latter half of the year. And if nothing else, well, I can hope. I can hope, I can pray. You know, but you know, I like I said, I can hope, I can pray. God, it's me. I understand that most of the time I'm shaking my fist, you know, but you and your omnipotence, you know that, it's more for a bit than anything else. So, help a brother out, You know, the smallest bit of relief would be greatly appreciated. Please, please, you know. And I know that I know there's some people out there who are gonna watch this and go, "Well, GZ, you're not really somebody I picture as overly faithful." And yeah, that is correct. When it comes to matters of faith with me, things can be a little bit complicated. But I guess that's just how I am with everything, just a little bit complicated. But I chalk that up. I chalk that up as part of my esoteric charm. Just a mere component of my overwhelm of my overwhelming charisma. Oh god. But yeah, it's and I know some people out there are gonna go, well, GZ, welcome to adulthood. It's a bit of a struggle. Yeah, I understood that beforehand. The reality of it, suddenly being put upon my shoulders has not changed my perspective. You know, I try to do what needs to be done in order to in order to make it so that the struggle isn't overly terrible. But and that being said, I do not enjoy the struggle. It builds character, certainly, but if I mean, I don't think it's at all controversial to say, well, if I had to choose between struggling and not struggling, I don't know, man. What would I choose? Yeah, I would definitely choose not struggling. I would definitely choose ease over hardship. But going through hardship will build me up for down the line for something or other. I don't really know where I was going with this. That being said, today Saturday should not be so bad. I go in and work for 3 hours. 3 hours. I'll be working from 6 to 9. And I went, I looked at that on the schedule and went, okay. I'm just not gonna say anything about that. I mean, if they call me, I'm gonna be up before 6, obviously. And if they call me, then I'll probably end up going in just to pull some extra hours, get some more money in the paycheck, for the pocket down the line. But if they don't, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm gonna go, well, I guess they didn't need my help, or or they didn't think to call me for help. Because at this point with the pizza job, I can do every job in the store except the manager's job because I haven't gotten manager training. I mean, it's probably not rocket surgery. Let's be real. It probably isn't. It probably isn't anything different from what I do typically at Taco Bell. But there are probably some key differences that I will be made aware of, and you know once I'm aware of those differences and can actually compartmentalize them when I'm wearing the pizza job uniform, then I'll be good. You know, I mean they were when I first started working the pizza job, they were kind of taken aback a little bit by just me kind of naturally being able to grasp a lot of different things in relation to the job. And I know I mentioned it in the application, but then again, maybe my application wasn't read over much. They were just like, we need people. This guy seems like to be fine, you know. But I did end up saying like, yeah, of course I know how to do this and that. I'm a manager over at Taco Bell, and they went, oh, okay, cool. And then that I guess that kind of accelerated that kind of accelerated me finishing up the training, the initial training period for being an insider at the pizza job. So you know that's nice. That's my an actual example of my experience, of my experience in a different job being useful. That feels nice. Um, that being said, it's I mean I still had to learn stuff. I'm not saying, oh yes, I naturally grasped onto everything instantaneously. Ha ha ha. That's not what happened. Um, but it's definitely been a lot easier to get into a nice get into a nice flow with this other job. I know what place to take. I go in, and since I've been cross trained, basically I go in, and usually I don't even have to ask, but sometimes I still do. I ask the manager, what do you want me to do today? You want me to drive? You want me to be inside? I mean, I know what I'm scheduled for, but sometimes they flip flop me. I'm gonna look at my schedule here. On Monday, I was supposed to drive, and I came in, and the manager said, "Yeah, we're probably just gonna have you inside today." I went, "All right." I mean, he was in charge, not me, so you know, and I'm not gonna object. There were a lot of drivers that day, which means tips would have been spread thin. I probably made more money, on my next check being an insider than I would have being a driver. So whatever. You know, yeah, to having tips in my hand to put in my wallet, to drop off at the bank, you know, feels nice, but having a decent sized actual check get deposited every 2 weeks, it feels nice in a different way. Yeah, that money isn't immediately at my disposal, but if we're thinking long term, then yeah, it's probably for the best. You know, uh, and if I was still the person that I was with my gotcha addiction, then having that extra money in my hand might not have been the best move. But with me, really putting heavy restraints on it to the point where it's like, okay, no spending, then it's fine. It's fine either way. And that it helps that there's really no temptation. If we compare the in-game incentive to spend to get ahead versus the financial incentive of not spending, the financial incentive of not spending is a lot stronger. I have numerous bills to pay and debts to eliminate. I have like I keep saying, I have financial goals that I want to meet. Because for years, for years, I failed to meet those financial goals, and it was frustrating. And I decided, all right, no, 24 things are going to be different. I'm actually going to not only write down goals instead of just keeping them in here, but I'm actually going to actively work towards them in a meaningful capacity, so that way I can actually track so that way I can actually track some progress, and go, okay, well, maybe I didn't meet it this year, but here's the reason why. And then from then on can set more realistic goals. That way, I mean, I've got like a year plan, and then I've got like a, I've got like a, I've got plans. I've got plans on plans, really. Which is a funny thing to say to my dad when I explained to him that, look, this is how things are working in terms of what I'm doing financially. Like, I've got plans on plans, and that seemed to kind of assure him somewhat. So that was good. That was nice. But there it is. At least I'm not burping up smoke again like that one week. That that just makes me feel bad, because it's smoke down in the stomach. It's like, I don't feel good, and I gotta take a sip of a fizzy beverage in order to kind of encourage the smoke out. I mean, I guess naturally it would rise if I did this, maybe, because I mean, you know, from here to stomach is pretty straight. probably. I don't know. It's been a while since I took anatomy in high school. Actually, wait, yeah. In high school, let me think. Was high school was at minimum 7 years ago now. Ugh. And so, ugh, that was a while ago. Oh god. So yeah, well, so it's been at least 7 years since I took anatomy, which is whatever. I guess. I guess memories fade with time. I haven't really, I probably still have the knowledge. I just need to kind of, access it in a manner of speaking. Beep, beep, beep. But yeah, uh, I just need to work. I just need to work, and over a while, things will get better. It's just I just need to be patient. I just need to be patient. That's kind of how it was when I would take a big hit to the account. I'd go, okay, we need to slow down a little bit and just let things regenerate, as it were. But I just need to remember that live day to day as opposed to getting caught up in my long term plans. Do what's best for the long term, but don't get so wrapped up with long term thinking that it becomes an issue for the present. You know, so eh, eh, eh. But yeah, it's just a matter of patience, being patient. Hmm. Be patient. Yeah, that way I can just not have a bad time. But yeah, no one ever said it was easy, and people were like, "Oh, just wait until you become an adult. It's gonna be hard." Yeah, yeah, I'm aware. Thank you. You know, again, the reality of it, coming down onto my shoulders has not changed my opinion. Then again, thinking back when I was in college, I thought things were going to be a lot. I had this absolute. Well, I shouldn't say absolutely, but I had a pretty draconian. I had a pretty draconian vision for myself. Maybe not Maybe draconian isn't the right word, but I no, not draconian. But I had a pretty strict set of expectations for how I thought things were going to be after I graduated from college, from undergrad, that is, and things did not turn out that way. Things turned out quite a bit better, and that's good. Um, which that's good. And so I'm not really overly, I'm not really overly, I'm not, I'm not disappointed. Well, mostly. But at the same time, I'm also just, I'm kind of glad that things did not turn out as I had, predicted that it would, because that would really suck. That would really suck. If I was living on the stir fry diet, or like I had initially planned, things turned out somewhat better. Now that being said, would I prefer that things be better than they presently are? Oh yeah, definitely. Um, but at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh well, it really sucks, and oh, woe is me and all this and that. I'm not gonna do that. It's fine. It's acceptable. It's acceptable. And you know I don't I mean, again, not a, not again really, but you know, I would definitely prefer things continue to improve, and I certainly don't want things to get worse. That would suck terribly. Um, but you know, it's things are acceptable, and I have plans to you know to see improvement. So it's fine. It's fine. I just hold to the plans. Make adjustments as necessary, and I'll be fine. Who knows? Like I said earlier, we've still got 6 months left in the year. Maybe things will undergo a pretty rapid improvement. Maybe there'll be a nice a nice blessing to come my way to help out with various things. Who knows? I'm hopeful, but at the same time, if things stay as they are, I'm not going to be overly disappointed. It's like, well, what can I do to improve next year? To continue on that path of getting better, of improving my own situation. You know, especially with the reputation that I've kind of created at work of being that guy who can being that guy who is able to help. Where is the I for some reason in my mind I gotta maintain that. I don't know why, but I gotta that's just something in my mind where I have to be that person. And again, I was talking with the guys about it, and I really there are times where being the person who being the per- thanks mom being the person who is there to be and helpful and all this and that is fine. It's good. Just yeah. Being able to help those around me as much as I can is good. But there are times, and these times rise up, especially when I'm tired, where I just don't want to anymore. I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be a little bit selfish. You know, I don't, or at least I try not to. But I just, I think I said it to somebody, and I don't remember who. I don't remember who. But it really is really annoying at times to just be to hold myself to that standard of being better and continuing to be while while people around me get away with not. It it really kind of grinds my gears, as it were. And it's somewhat discouraging, but I stick with it. I stick to it because, well, I guess that's who I am at the end of the day. you know I guess that's who I am at the end of the day. So I guess I'll just keep on it, huh? But we'll see about it. We will see about it. I'll get through it. You know, I saw I saw a comic back when I was interning, because I would read the newspaper during lunch. I saw a comic where it was like, how are we gonna get we're I don't remember which comic it was. It was like, oh, how are we gonna get through this? And the other character in the comic was like, well, just like a lot of other people, somehow. And I guess that's kind of stuck with me in a way. Somehow I'll get through it. You know, I you know, I plan, so I think I plan at least somewhat all right. So we'll see how that turns out. We'll see if somehow I stay with it and everything. But again, I just sometimes, sometimes I don't want to be that person. But I guess it's who I am. You know. I guess it's you know. Ugh. But that's enough doom and gloom about the whole thing. We'll we'll see. We'll see how we'll see how it ends up. Like I keep saying, we'll see how it ends up. I'm hopeful, because I mean, come on. The alternative is to be in despair, and this ain't Danganronpa, so that's not gonna work out. That's not gonna work out for me. But whatever. I'll be okay. I'll get through it, just like I always have. But but yeah. But yeah, like I said, somehow I'll get through it. In other news, I have still yet to make my gotcha game to do lists. I have somewhat neglected that in certain ways, but it's up here. I just just for some of it, I just need some refreshers, but I can do that easy. I've got online resources for my games, so it's fine. I'll be all right. I get through it. It's been an hour and a half, and we're not really we're at a decent pace here with this. You know. Yeah. But in other news, I started playing another gotcha game because, of course, started playing Azure Lane, and I just, it's like I said weeks ago. At this point, it's like I said weeks ago. I just like gear development, and that is essentially what Azure Lane is. It's just a giant gear development simulator, and so I guess I'm all about it. I guess I'm all about it. So, whatever. Whatever. I'm okay. It's whatever. I'll be good. Sure. But if whatever, like I said, I started playing another gotcha game because I guess I can't stay away from the grind. I guess I can't stay away from the grind. I gotta work the grind. Otherwise, otherwise, what would what would I, I mean, I guess the alternative for something that I could spend the time on would be, working. But I don't. Yeah, the money would be great. The money would be real nice. But I'm not. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not so sure about it. Yeah, I could pull so many more hours. I could pull so many more hours. I could hard focus in on working. Getting as many hours as possible to really kind of really get the money to work down those debts. But it would suck. It would suck so bad. And so I don't do it because again, if I choose between if I choose between it's again if it's hardship and not hardship, I would definitely choose not hardship. Duh. I don't think I think a lot of other people would choose that. but whatever. It's good and it's good enough, and maybe that's part of you know maybe that's part of the whole thing is just kind of not being so hard on myself like like some people suggest. But I definitely need to keep track of when good enough is not good enough. Can't be overly lackadaisical about the whole thing. In the past I could kind of just hand wave and things would be all right because I had made the necessary preparations. But now it's more of a short-term battle. I mean, it's still relatively long-term, but it's not overly long-term like it was. But I'm such a fucking goober sometimes. Goddamn. It's just. Another thing is, when compared to when compared to last week, well, not even compared to last week, but compared to the last couple of weeks, I'm not overly dead tired. I did not have I did not have a day this week where I was so dead that I just kind of threw myself at the bed and just died. I did not have any of that this week, which is pretty good. And so that's good. That's good because I mean, hey, I slept really well those days. I slept real well those days, and I haven't had too many nightmares recently, so that's really good. That week where I was essentially just taking a bunch of naps as opposed to you know uh sleeping, getting in full sleeps. uh when I was just taking a series of naps, I was I was it really intensified the nightmares, which was not great. Did not enjoy that, but it was fine. I say it was fine, but it sucked. Having essentially a nightmare every time I would go to sleep would would suck. And so I would just I mean I would sleep, of course. I didn't it was either sleep or not sleep. I didn't really have too terribly much of a choice. Um, but I would you know it was it was not fun. It was not a good time. And so I would just it was yeah. Yeah, it was. I was not having a good time, but hey, the paycheck was good. The paycheck was nice. The tips were nice. Learning how to open over at the pizza job was nice because that's again part of the cross training. Is something I'm going to need to know for when the promotion eventually comes along. Because I mean, I'm not gonna stay at the same. I'm not gonna stay at the bottom of the totem pole forever. That's. I mean, I guess that is something that I could choose, obviously, but eventually there will come a point to where you know they're not going to they're not going to they're not going to um, eventually it's going to reach a point to where they're not going to raise my pay unless I um, unless I do unless I move up the ladder, which is fine. I understand that. I'm fine with that. It's just but whatever, whatever. Um, but yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. Okay. Maybe I should focus in a little bit more on work. Try to hold that 70 hours so that way I can, you know, try, really ensure those nice paychecks. I'll talk to the pizza boss about it. Like, hey, yo, Squid Bag, you know, I know you need help. You know, call me. I know you guys have my number, so you'll be fine. Just give me a call. I mean, even if it's on a day off, just pulling like 3 or 4 hours, it'll make a difference. You know, there's you know, there's call there's call offs at the pizza job. So I think they would. I think they would not be opposed to. I think they would not be opposed to me. You know, uh, helping out. If I say, and if I say that, hey, guys, call me, then I don't, the most they can say is, well, yeah, we'll call you if we think we need you, and then if they never call me, well, then that's kind of on them. If they don't need the help, they don't need the help. If they don't want the help, they don't want the help. That's fine. It's fine. I get it. I'm not going to be sour about it. Because if nothing else, I'll be on the schedule. Working hours, so it's fine. We'll be cool. We'll be cool about it. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, that's my thought on it. Is yeah, maybe I should go a little bit. Maybe I will go a little bit harder on the working, so that way I can just pull in some extra money to throw a little bit of extra money at the debts in order to get rid of those, because that'll just make the monthly expenses go down, and it'll be in line with my financial goals. So yes, that'll be good. That, and also I'll be able to just kind of stick back some more, just in case car maintenance or some such happens. You know, because my car's an '02. She's a little bit older, and so it becomes kind of important to you know it becomes kind of important to have a little bit stuck back, just so I can, if something breaks, if it turns out that you know if it turns out that the whole speedometer not working situation kind of turns out to be something more, then I can have the necessary resources to not not get overly nervous when I have to pay, if I have to pay for something bigger in the car to be replaced. You know, and that's just a thing with being, that's just a thing with being an adult and being financially responsible, is doing that. But it's whatever. It's whatever. Hopefully, also, I'm kind of hoping the economy gets better, because that'll help reduce other costs like gas. Gas is gas, hovers between, gas is hovering, well up into, $3. At times, it even approaches four, and that really sucks, and I hate it, because it makes me want to minimize my driving, because I don't like, if I can avoid spending money on gas, I would definitely do that. But at the same time, I can't not, because I do need to drive places in order to you know I do need to drive places in order to get to work, and to, run my errands and this and that and all, and whatnot. So you know, but it's just that, whatever. I don't like buying gas because it's expensive, and it's a sentiment that me and my nephew share, and he has to buy a lot more gas than me because his commute is a little bit longer living in Cincinnati. So he complains about it, and I think I mean it's funny in a way, but it's also really tough to hear that oh yeah, it sucks. But I think whatever, he'll. I mean, we kind of just grit our teeth and do it. But it's whatever. I cannot control the gas prices. If I could, gas would be below $2. Because then I could throw a 20 in there and be actually I wouldn't even need to throw 20 to fill my tank. Especially with the way that I buy gas. Well, especially with the way I like to buy gas, I should say. Because I just normally 20 is kind of the standard. And that works out. So I don't need to think about it over much. But if I did that, who knows? That's just how it is, I suppose. That also being said, I do need to make sure I have money for smokes. I mean, I did recently buy a lot of smokes, so I'm not going to run out anytime soon. Well, I'd like to say that, but I have been this week has been a little bit heavier with the smoking, sort of. I've got a lot of happies that I need to kind of smoke down, but there'll be days for that, and it's not like they're gonna go bad. I do maintain my boxes pretty well, so I'm not worried there about that. That being said, I've in my mind I've compared leaving a happy in the box to leaving leftovers in the fridge. Yeah, it's gonna be fine and it's gonna be there, but I think it's definitely a good thing to finish up what I'm doing rather than continuously moving on to something new. You know, I don't want a box filled with happies because that would suck. Because with a happy, I get into a nice smoking rhythm, and then it's only half a cigar, so it's done relatively quickly. And so, I don't really want to do that over much. But it's whatever, I guess. It's whatever, I guess. This is this is the lifestyle. This is the lifestyle. This is the lifestyle of a young smoker. Is especially somebody who's when it comes to cigars, actually, when it comes to cigars, I like to have a variety, kind of like how most nutritionists or just doctors in general will recommend having a balanced diet. I like having a nice variety of smokes, a nice balanced diet of cigars, as it were, to make it so that I get a nice blend, a nice combination of flavors, as opposed to just smoking the same thing a million times. Which is why kind of those times where I've gone all in on a 20 pack or some such of something. I've gotten through about half of it where I go, I should have bought something else to kind of help keep these things, make it so that I don't really I guess, get bored smoking. But I don't foresee smoking as something I would get bored of. So that helps. That certainly helps, I guess. That and it really helps take the edge off because, I mean, smoking cigars tastes really good most of the time. But it helps take the edge off with all the working and whatnot. So I'm not feeling bad about it. that being said, I have been kind of looping a lot, and it is about 8 o'clock. So I think this will be one of those times where I end stream off just a little bit earlier, just so I can sit here and just relax before I go to bed. Get up and finish off my week. And think on some of the things that I've said. That maybe lean in a little bit more into the work, into the jobs, that is, and also the work, so that way I can just be be a lot be a lot more secure financially. That way, if something comes up, I can be okay. I mean, if something were to come up now, it would be stressful, but it would be fine. Um, and and whatnot. But I think I will let you guys go here, and you know, if nothing else, I will see you all again at about 6:30 next week. If I don't find some time in between working to schedule some uploads, dig through my hard drive, see what I got, set up some things so that way I can actually get some other recordings done and whatnot. But until then, I will